Chris, I just want to start right here. How neat is this for Northeast Ohio? I mean, this type of week. You got Joe Thomas going into the Hall of Fame. You've got the Browns playing in the Hall of Fame game for the first time since 1999. I feel like this is like Browns fan heaven to start a season off.
I love being able to fly into Cleveland and just driving down to Canton. It's pretty strong, but I'm happy for Joe. We just saw him inside there, and I was telling him, of course, I own the PFF system, and I go, Joe, you broke our system. I mean, you broke it, because the system is based on you got to take the top guy and then try to rank the other guy. So, like, if you put him at 99, that means the next best player had to be at like 88. There was such a gap in there, and I go, there's no way. I had so many people mad at me because I'm trying to explain this and not get beat up. That you have to have that separation because he was that much better than everybody else.
I told some friends of mine that I was going to be having a chance to chat with you, and they said, ask him how he grades out on Pro Football Focus. I said, I don't know. I mean, I think he's textbook A+, right? I don't know how else you could do much better.
You couldn't. And it's every once in a while somebody get mad at the grades, or some big guy will come up to me in practice, and I go, oh, what's his grade? What's his grade? Is he going to hug me or kill me? I never know.
The Hall of Fame game itself, I mean, we're not going to see many starters, but it does serve as a celebration of football returning, right? I mean, you enjoy this.
I do. I've done a bunch of these games, too, and because now it's like, my playing career is sort of blending in now with the broadcasting career. So I either played against all these guys or broadcast their games or so I get this big cross section. And for me, Kenny Riley goes in the Hall of Fame this week too, who's a guy who never went to a Pro Bowl and had 65 interceptions. I'm like, how could he not go to the Pro Bowl? But I'm really looking forward to, this was a class I thought that they got in some people that really deserved to be in, and some veteran guys. I'm just really excited. Don Coryell, was brilliant. He and Dan Fouts and what they used to do back in the day. So it's going to be a great night.
And for you, Thomas was a no-brainer, right? I know there was a knock that he didn't play on any, really good teams, but that wasn't his fault. I mean, this was a no-brainer decision, right?
Anybody that would question Joe Thomas is stupid. Let me just say that again. They're stupid if they question him. He's the only guy, in my mind. Anthony Munoz is the greatest player that I've ever been around at any position. Didn't make any difference. And I was hearing some of the same stories about Joe, that literally their offensive line coach would go, okay, here's Joe's guy. All right, let's just erase him. He's off the board, right? We used to do the same thing with Anthony. I'm like, if he was at that level, he was something special.
For this, we'll get into these Browns, but just the fact that we're coming up on 25 years since they've come back. 1999 was when the team came back. He's the first to go in. I just think about this organization, though, the fact that what they've done is probably statistically more difficult than to run into an AFC Championship game, Chris. I mean, the fact that, and we're not going to go through all the coaches and the quarterbacks, but is it amazing to you that this team just has never been able to break through?
Well, especially because I played in the 80s. They were unbelievable. I'm telling you, it was playing the Cleveland Browns was not a fun day at the office at all. And Marty Schottenheimer was amazing with this group. They had great cornerbacks, Dixon and Minifield. Sure. And they put up points. It was exciting. So now, I kind of look at them, and I know there's a lot of different things, and I can make the case for every team winning the Super Bowl, I think, at this time of year. But you look at Cleveland and what they've been able to do now, bringing in Za'Darius, right? Bringing in Obo, bringing in additional pass rushers. Just something to take a little pressure off of Miles on the outside over there. A little bit better at the receiver position. I think the quarterback position with Deshaun is moving towards what we've seen in the NFL with mobility at the quarterback position and strength at the quarterback position, like what they had in Philadelphia last year. Yeah. Let's run some quarterback sneaks on 4th and 1. Let's keep the ball. Let's not punt the ball away. And so now it's just, do they take that jump on offense? Because really that's been the difference. I think that defensively they're going to be good. Their secondary is really good. I like their cornerbacks on this team. So this is a good, solid football team. But it always comes down to they've generated all these rules to make this game all around the passing game and all around the quarterback. So does Deshaun take that leap? He definitely needed those 6 games last year.
There are some storylines with this team, but
Yeah.
it all starts with Deshaun, right? I mean, it almost ends with Deshaun too,
does.
right? I mean, it's all on the quarterback, right?
It absolutely is. But I you know, you don't want to be too optimistic about what might happen with the offense, because part of me goes, God, they run the ball so well. Does this create an issue now if they go more shotgun, and are they going to not run it as well, right? Are they going to be able to do the things that they've done well in the past? Music will come on with no problem at all. But, you know, that's always going to be the issue. Do you try and reach for something new in the passing game? You get upgraded at the receiver position and take a step backwards in the run game.
Last one for you. The AFC North. We'll see what happens with Joe Burrow. Hopefully he's healthy for the game's sake. Just how do you see it stacking up with all these teams? You got the Ravens in the mix. The Steelers don't feel like they're going anywhere. Just how do you see this stacking up?
Yeah, it's going to be really tough. I mean, you got to give the Bengals a little bit of a nod, I think, coming into it, because they've been so close, been in the Super Bowl, a play or two away last year. But remember, Baltimore had them, if not for that fumble down on the goal line that they returned 98 yards for a touchdown, Cincinnati in the playoffs. It might have been Baltimore playing against Kansas City in the playoff game. Who knows? But Pittsburgh's definitely going to be better, no question. They did a good job adding some elements, helping that offensive line up front. Their quarterback's another year older. So this is going to be a really, really tough division. But honestly, with Jim Schwartz now, defensive coordinator, if they can create additional pressure on the outside with some of the guys that they brought in, take some pressure off of Miles, and they can score some points, I've seen it before, man. I've seen the Browns beat. I don't want to play the Browns, so.
You're getting us excited, Chris. Listen, we appreciate the time. Look forward to watching you all season long.
Can't wait to get it going.